Page 84, Spring. This is a very famous melody by Vivaldi, and they have a little paragraph about him. You can read about him. This is a challenge piece. This is interesting. This is on pages 84 and 85. 6 lines long. There's no repeats or anything. We just go straight through it. We're not using anything new here. We're just using stuff we've already known, but you'll see the pieces are starting to get a little more involved. Well, I'm going to use the same approach I've been using, because it doesn't matter how complicated the music is. So let's look it over. Treble and bass clef. 1 sharp in the key signature. We're in the key of G major. Make sure you can do the G major scale 1 octave. You've heard this before. Blah, blah. Okay. 4/4 time. And we have a pickup beat. Take it one hand at a time and make sure we understand what each hand is doing. And then we'll try and put the hands together. So you're starting out with 3rd finger on B. Here. It's 4/1. 4/1. And while I'm thinking about it, if there's a pickup beat, I need another measure somewhere else with 3 counts in it. So I look around. Is there one? No. So in my opinion, that's an error. That last measure at the bottom of page 85 should be a dotted half note, not a whole note. But it doesn't affect how we play it, so we'll just still come in on beat 4. So you're here for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and as long as you get the 8th notes in, we're okay. Now let's go over to page 85. First line, last 2 measures. We're here. 1 and 2 and 3. Now they want you to use 2nd finger again. I just used 2nd finger. No, this, in my opinion, is poor fingering. This is, again, beginner fingering. We got to get away from this. No, I don't recommend doing that. I mean, you can get away with it because it's a new phrase, even though the phrasing isn't marked. But I don't recommend it. So there's 2 ways we can do this. And you pick one, pencil it in, and stick with it, whichever way you choose. One way is play the 8 dotted half note, and then use 3 on the B. And then for the next line, use 5 on the D. And then scrunch up a little bit and use 3 on the C. So I'm not changing until I get to the 8th note here. Now I'm in position they want you to be in. That's one way of doing it. So it's, again, the last 2 measures of the first line would be 1 and 1, 2, 3, 1 here. Now I'm in position. Or for the dotted half note, instead of 2nd finger, use thumb. Skip that. Now you've changed positions. Now you can use 2nd finger for the B. You're there. So it would be thumb, 1, 2, 3. Now go. You decide. I like the idea of using the thumb, but you might like the other idea better. There's no right or wrong here, but I don't recommend using 2nd finger on both of those notes. No. Go down to the 3rd line. You're here. They want you to use 4th finger again. Oh, they just love that, don't you? No, we don't want to. I don't want to do that. So I gotta find something else that works. So for the 3rd line here, rather than 4th finger, I'm going to use thumb. Scrunch up a little bit and use thumb. And then cross over and use 3rd finger. So instead of 4th finger, I just use the thumb. If you're doing the scales, you can do this quite easily, because it's the movement from going thumb to 3rd finger is in the scale. So you're used to this. This way you can do it in music easily. If you're not doing the scales, then you're lost here. You can't do that very well. You struggle and get that over there. So do the scales. So that's what I'm going to recommend. So it's that. And then stretch up just a little bit. 2nd finger. At the end, the same thing. The last 3 measures. Use thumb on that last beat, that C, and cross over. Just like you did up the line above. Left hand, well, you got chords here. We got a G chord. We're not using the middle note. Actually, the middle note's in the right hand. The B. Because you got to take it all as far as the chord goes. The whole thing, and all 3 notes, that's a chord. That's the whole thing. So we got these. at the top of page 85, first line, last measure, F sharp, and then here, that's fine. Third line down, half note. Make sure you connect those. Put the hands together slowly, and you can hesitate all you need to. It's no problem. We just want them to work together. Just make sure these quarter notes in the left hand are only 1 beat long. You put the hands together and then go back through it a few hundred times or whatever and get rid of the hesitation so it's a steady beat. You can go as slow as you need to go, it doesn't matter, but it's got to be a steady beat, no hesitations. And after that, we can think about the articulation. I'm going to hinge at the wrist on these staccatos. They're short. Slur. After the dotted half note, it's like taking a phrase. You put in the articulation, then the dynamics, they go to the melody, which is in the right hand. That's loud. These chords need to be down about moderately soft. Second line on page 84, second measure, you come down to soft. You're echoing what just happened. So now you're playing like at the beginning, you're playing all that again, except now you're soft. That makes the left hand very soft. And then at the end of the first line on page 85, you're back up to loud again. And at the third line down, toward the end of the line on page 85, you go back to soft. And you're ending it soft. And there's a retardando there at the end where you slow down. That's sort of the dynamics. Speed, well, I'll agree, it's a fun piece. It's got to be accurate, so don't go be faster than accurate. Let's play it together very slowly and double check all the notes and rhythms. I'll do the staccatos and slurs. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I can't slow down at the end. So I'll give us 3 counts because we come in on beat 4. Let's just play it together slowly. You should be playing the same note I'm playing at the same time. Even one hand at a time if you need to. 1, ready, go. Three.